Khristina from Redefine Creative, and I am super excited to be here and sharing with you a cut file layout with this amazingly beautiful cut file. And this is from my friend Virginia. So today she is hosting a YouTube hop, and it is for her Etsy store called Confessions of a Paper Addict, which is this amazing cut file store. Super coolest cut files, you guys, seriously. So I decided I wanted to work with this cityscape, and I will put a link to it down below. And what I decided to do was to use this like copper colored glitter foam. And so it is three-dimensional. It is going to add a foam detail to the back of this cut file to make it really pop up off the page. And it has this really great copper glitter. And so I am going to, off screen, fussy cut it out so that only my buildings have this copper glitter foam. And the reason I am doing that is because I very much want it to look like kind of city lights in the background. And then it has this globe down at the bottom. And so what I am originally thinking is that I'm going to use this text paper. So when I was putting this layout together, I knew that this cut file was going to kind of take center stage. And backing it with glitter foam automatically gives it that height and that lift to really make it a centerpiece. So if you have not tried this idea of backing your layout with glitter foam, it is super easy, super fun, and I love the look you get. So I would highly recommend you try that out. So I originally was going to put this text paper at the bottom, and I have two 3x4 photos that I want to include. So when we were on vacation in Chicago, my boys and I went up to do this experience, and I can't for the life of me at the moment think of the name of it. I'll put that down in the comments below too. Basically you go up to like the 103rd floor, I think, and they have these clear, like plexiglass areas that are built out of the building. So you can go out onto these platforms and look down and be literally like over the city. It is so cool. And so this is just a picture of my boys sitting out on that shelf where it looks like they're sitting on top of the city. And then there's a little cityscape photo that I put next to it. So that's kind of where I'm going, the story behind this layout. And then I decide to get rid of that text paper because I feel like it's competing a little bit too much with my background and my photos because the photos are pretty busy. So I'm going to go with this Escape the Ordinary paper instead. And it just is like almost like a sidewalk or like a brick pattern with grays and whites. And I like how that looks a lot better. And I feel like it really flows with my photos a lot better. So then I'm going to go and kind of play with a little bit of embellishing because I don't need a ton because my city is so like bright and such a huge part of that layout. I don't want a whole lot of embellishing because I don't want it to compete. So I'm going to put that little sticker down there in the bottom, and that's from the Freestyle collection from Photoplay. And then I have just a few stickers that I'm going to include. So this black and white one just says 10, 10, 10, wouldn't change anything. And then there's that little one that says 360 degrees. And I thought that was perfect because in this you're getting kind of like a 360 degree view of the city. So I'm going to have this one little embellishment cluster down here in the bottom left hand corner. And I am going to add some dimension to it so that that black one is going to be popped up off the page. And then everything else is going to kind of layer underneath it. And that's primarily going to be where my embellishment cluster is. So I'm really only going to have that one. And the reason I'm putting it down where I am putting it is because I want to balance out the weight of this layout. So this glitter cityscape across the top is pretty weighty. It's going to be a major focal point for the layout. So all of my other stuff that I want to add needs to add some weight down here on the bottom. At least that's what I'm thinking kind of at this point. So I'm making sure my embellishing and my photos, I put that photo of my boys up on some foam adhesive. I'm wanting to add that weight down at the bottom part of the layout. I am also keeping in mind in the back of my head that I know that I want to put a pretty long title on this layout. So I'm kind of keeping in mind that I want my embellishing to be limited just to this area at the bottom around this cluster and then on top of that photo, because I want to have room for this very long title that I have in mind. And so I'm just seeing if there's any additional things that I want to add. And then I'm going to go ahead and work on my title work. And I'm going to do a lot of this off screen because it is a really big title. But inside this map or globe part at the bottom, it's going to say big lights will inspire you. And I start out just going for it, but I end up having to move the placement around. And so you'll see the letters kind of moved over to the left to make everything fit. And then across the top, it says, these streets will make you feel brand new. And so these are actually lyrics from a song. And so those two lines I thought were just perfect to go along with this experience my kids had, as well as with this particular cut file. I'm adding in just a few of these little copper stars that match the copper alpha. So I kind of combined these tiny little white alphas with that copper alpha to highlight a few keywords. So that copper just is in the brand new and then just in the inspire. And I really like how that looks. So it kind of draws your attention to those parts. That little foam white alpha, even though it's a really small font, works really well on a dark colored cardstock background. So don't feel like you can't use a smaller font for a title, like that it has to be big. You can absolutely make a small font work, especially if you're putting a light colored foam letter on a really dark colored background. And then I decide that I'm going to go back to these copper alphas, and I'm just going to put the word Chicago. So this song actually talks about New York, but I am going to use it for Chicago, which is totally fine with me because the lyrics from the song still really work with the feel that I wanted on this layout. So I'm good with that. I don't know if the artist would be good with it, but I'm good with it. So I'm going to spell out Chicago down here underneath my photos. And I am still keeping all of those embellishments really centered around just my photos and that one cluster at the bottom. And that's basically going to do it for this layout. So do make sure that you click down below. Check out all of the amazingly talented people. There are some seriously great layouts in this particular hop. And make sure you also stop by and check out Virginia's store, Confessions of a Paper Addict, where she has some of the most adorable and amazing cut files. And I can't wait to see what you make from the store as well. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!